Hi everyone! A viewer asked me a good question in the comment section of one of my videos, and it was about how I feel about marriage and divorce. And I know my views on all aspects of this issue aren't what you'd expect from your typical conservative, but I have a good explanation for all of them. And first and foremost, I'd like to say that I think this is a very important issue, and I'm a strong supporter of the traditional family structure of having a two-parent household with two biological parents. And it's simply because that's what works. Like, that's how you create good societies, that's how you bring up healthy, balanced children, that's how you have cohesion and sense of community. So it's simply what works. It's good for the society to have some structure in it. Like, people can't feel comfortable and at home and that sense of community when they never know what to expect from other people. But if they share some common rules, some common goals, some common way of life, it's easier for them to feel that they are part of the same group. So I feel it's necessary to support the traditional family structure. And I don't blame gays or transgenders or anything like that for the destruction of the family unit. And I know there are a lot of conservatives who actually do so. Like, they seriously make huge issues of these gay marriage questions, and actually they have no bearing on this issue. Like, for example, here in Finland, gay marriages make up just over 1% of all marriages. Like, it's not them who are creating the problem of single parent households. It's not them who are creating the huge divorce rates we have over here. Like, for every 3 new marriages, we have 2 new divorces every year. So it's not gays who do that, it's your average straight people. And it's simply not fair, and it's simply not honest to blame a very small minority for problems in the very core of our larger society. It's in all of us. It's in our culture. It's in our way of life. It's not this one group of people doing this. But I understand why these conservative politicians always love to blame the gays and stuff like that, because it's easier for them to do that and hold on to their voters. Like, their voters aren't gay, so it's easy for them to turn to the voters and say, okay, these are the ones to blame. This small group, these are the people to blame for destroying the family unit. These are the people to blame for destroying the sanctity of marriage. And then these good Christians, these good straight people, they don't have to take any responsibility for the failures in their own lifestyle. They may be even three times divorced themselves, but no worries, it's the gays who are destroying the sanctity of marriage. So that's what bothers me. And I really wish there were these conservative politicians who would have the guts to turn to their own voters and say, okay, we have made some mistakes. We created this welfare state that rendered fathers useless. And now we need to start picking it apart, because we can't take this any longer. Like, this isn't financially and socially sustainable anymore. So now we need to take some of your welfare off. And of course their voters would be infuriated. But that's the honest thing to do. That's the only real fix, because it wasn't gays who destroyed the family unit. It was this welfare state. Like, here in Finland we have, for example, this system called the government child support. And it means that you get money for every kid you pop out. And this system was founded after World War II, and back then it was needed. Like, we had so few people after the war that some incentive for making babies was needed. But then it started to eat up our society, and it rendered fathers useless. There was no need for dads because moms could get money anyway. Like, the government would pick up the bill for the babies. And even worse, then the immigrants started showing up, realizing that you can actually make a career out of making babies over here. and they mooch off the system, getting these huge welfare checks for doing absolutely nothing but making babies. And it's this system that's eating us apart. Like, it's not gays and it's not fucking social justice warriors. It's this entire system of welfare state. And as long as we don't have politicians who are honest enough to admit that this is where the fault lies, and that we need to make changes even though they might be painful, then there's no way out of this, because blaming gays and blaming social justice warriors, they aren't going to get us out of this mess. Like, they aren't going to help us. So what we need now is for people to have some capability of making a sacrifice. Yes, they will lose their government child support. Yes, they will get smaller welfare checks if they need them, but this is what is needed to get our family units back in their glory days and get our society back on track. So this is how I feel about this. So I'm basically very conservative when it comes to this, but I really don't believe in that entire blame the gay aspect of this. So I think us, the straight majority, we should really take a deep look at ourselves and think where did we go wrong? Like, what did we do that rendered that useless, and what did we do that made our women admire this hookup culture that ends them up with STDs and unwanted babies and never-ending misery? Like, where did we go wrong? We should take a look at ourselves over here. And that's the only way to fix this. So this is how I feel about marriage and divorce. And thank you for listening.